All right, y'all, back to work. NVIDIA earnings are behind us, and that trading range we saw this afternoon, boy, unlocks some easy trades for us tomorrow. But more importantly, though, markets, they love to consolidate after major news events that we saw this afternoon, and that consolidation unlocks one of my favorite trades called a slingshot reversal. And just like the name suggests, a slingshot pulls back, snaps forward, and it can give us some of our biggest winners of the week. So a very explosive situation setting up for tomorrow. I'm going to cover the slingshot. I'm going to cover the range trades. We're going to cover the entire roadmap in tonight's video. I'm going to make sure you guys have a game plan to make some money tomorrow as well. So charts are ready. Enough of the intro. As always, thanks for tuning in and watching my videos. Let's dive in tonight and make some more money for tomorrow morning. S&P SPY ready to go tonight. Nasdaq triple Qs are ready. I've got 4 clues on these charts telling me where I think the money is made tomorrow. The first clue is right here on the hourly time frame. I like to use the hourly chart as an overall directional filter, and it's very easy to see right now. The buyers are in full control of momentum. Clue number 1, the buyers have control. That's our directional filter for tomorrow. Clue number 2 is over in the calendar for tomorrow. There's 2 big news events tomorrow morning, GDP and the jobless claims. Be aware of that tomorrow in the pre-market. And don't forget too, the biggest news of the week is Friday's personal income numbers. So don't miss tomorrow night's video. Get prepped up for what should be a very exciting Friday morning. But tomorrow morning, be aware though, pre-market traders, GDP, jobless claims are definitely big news for us tomorrow morning. Back to our charts though, because the money is made on these charts. I promised 4 clues. The first clue was direction. Second clue was the news tomorrow. The third and fourth clues now are down on our tick charts. Remember, tick charts make entry timing a whole lot easier. And by the way, that is a 7,000 tick chart, upper left-hand corner. And in case you're watching for the first time right now, welcome to the channel here. That indicator right there, the only indicator we need to make money is the 21 EMA. Now, there are 2 really important clues on these tick charts right now. The first clue is this trading range. Now, what do ranges do? Ranges love to rotate. We go up into a range, rotate down, up, down. And right now, that range tells us buyers are trying to rotate going higher, roughly about the amount we went below, up above. Keep your eyes on that 22 quarter. We'll cover a similar pattern on the Nasdaq here in just a moment. That's a really big clue. It tells me these buyers trying to rotate this market going higher. But there's one more clue here that really tips me off to our favorite trade for tomorrow, and that is that strong run going lower. Now, why is that important? Well, because anytime we see in a bull market a strong run going lower, all of that momentum suggests that sellers are trying to retest that low before we resume the overall bullish trend. That strong move unlocks one of my favorite trades for tomorrow, which I call a retest trade. Now, in this situation, a bull range, a strong run down, there are 3 types of trades on my radar in this situation. But I mentioned earlier, oftentimes after big earnings reports, the markets consolidate into new ranges. If we see that overnight, that will unlock what I call a slingshot reversal. I want to cover that pattern a bit later on in this video. It's a bit more advanced, but I'll tell you guys, if we can nail that slingshot tomorrow, it could make our entire month's worth of profit. So we're going to cover that a bit later on in tonight's video. But first things first though, 3 simple trades based on what I know right now. Obviously, one of them is a retest trade. A strong run down after the earnings report. I would love to get these bears to run this thing lower, take out that low, and remember, this is the tick chart. This is not for direction. The hourly chart is for direction. So a lot of rookies, when I was a rookie trader, I would have thought this was a reversal. This move lower will feel very bearish. And I'll bet a lot of rookie sellers who don't watch my videos, they're going to fall for this trap. That's what we look for a bear trap down here. Wait for price to pull back. Let them try once. let bears try twice. I'm not going to pick a bottom on this, right? It may it may go a bit lower. I don't know how far it will go below that low. It may roll quite a bit going lower here. So I'm not going to blindly buy that low. I'm going to wait for it to pull back to the moving average. Let those bears try once. Let them try twice, because now I know where their stops are. Now I know where their pain is, right? That's a bear trap setting up. 1 try, 2 try bear trap, like I teach in the free video class. And then remember, the market wants to rotate back up into that range now. So now look for an add-on. Now, adding to your winners will completely transform your trading career. Anytime I see a pullback that barely misses the moving average, higher high in price, this gives us now our add-on trade. In our trade room, in our video classes, we call this a bear trap and an add-on. And I'll tell you, this will want to rotate all the way back into that range here. So profit targets back at the recent highs and leave that runner for that pendulum swing going higher. But here's a question though. What if we don't get that retest? I mean, in all reality, we may begin to rotate and go higher here overnight. We may not get that retest. If we start running higher overnight, now I look at this a lot like that V bottom game plan I talked about in last night's video. Strong run down. They're going to want to retest and back up again. If they don't, though, then we start looking for ways to buy as low as we possibly can. And to do that, it's a higher high in price and a move right below that low. This is the basic idea of how I want to enter if we don't get that retest of that low. Now, these might come in different shapes and sizes. For example, we may try to make a run going lower and it may stall and then go higher. Same pattern, higher high in price, in below that low. Makes sense, right? It's the same basic entry. They try to go lower, but they stall out there. Then they start making that move going back up into that range. Higher high in price, underneath that low. Or we may start to grind higher here. And if it grinds higher here, again, same basic idea, but different way of looking at it. Mark a trend line off the highs, bring that trend line down off that low, look left, find some prior swings, and I want that first test off the low of that channel. These are what we call pop and grind channels, one of our favorites in our trade room. And again, it's the same basic idea. It's a higher high in price, a move right below that low, strong green candle, closing above the moving average, like I teach in the free video class. That'll be your signal. So the second type of trade I'm watching in this situation right now is getting in underneath prior swings if we don't get a retest of that low. Now, the third trade for tomorrow is let's say now we might retest the low and back up. We might V bottom off that low. If we wind up all the way going higher now, this can be a bit tricky. I don't want to chase after it because we're now above those all-time highs. If we get that big rotation going higher here, there's one type of trade I'm looking for tomorrow. I'm going to cover that in just 2 seconds. Before we do that though, let's pit stop for a second because I know most folks watching right now, you guys know these patterns. You're making money with these already. I get so many good emails every week. You guys banking profits. But if you're watching for the first time right now, this might be a brand new strategy for you, a brand new language I'm speaking here tonight. Don't you worry though. I teach this entire strategy. I teach all these entry tactics in my free trading classes. In fact, I have a ton of examples of all the entry patterns I'm talking about tonight, all taught in more detail in my free video course. What I'll do, guys, is I'll put a link up top here for you, upper right-hand corner. Hit that link that popped up right there and take that free trading course because the strategy I teach in that short video series will teach you a simple trick we use in our members trade room that literally tells us exactly where to find the winning trades each day. You'll laugh when you see how simple that technique is. More importantly though, let's face it, We make our money by timing good entries. So in that video course, I'm going to teach you my 4 favorite entry setups so you can time better entries, get your confidence back, get your P&L back in the green again. Guys, bottom line, if you're still missing the best entries each day, if you've lost your confidence in your current trading strategy, don't delay. Hit that link that popped up there. You're going to love that free trading course. I have a ton of trade examples in that short video series. You're going to love that. The best part is it's completely free for you. Also, too, guys, keep in mind, too, I'm going to put all the important links you need below the video in the description of the video tonight. Start first with that free video course. Most folks start making money all on their own, all from that free video class. So start there first. The link is below. And then don't forget too, we trade together every morning in our trade room, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'll put that link below. And if you're on Twitter or the X platform they call it these days, I post a ton of charts and videos and mindset stuff, updates during the day on Twitter X. If you're on the X platform, give me a follow. Again, all the details you'll need to learn the roadmap, time better entries, get your confidence and your P&L back in the green again are below the tonight description of that YouTube video. All right, so now you know where to go if you're watching for the first time right now, because some of this is a bit new to some people here who are watching this evening. Now, we talked about 2 out of 3 trades here. One was the retest trade. Love the retest trade, the bear trap, and back up again. The second one is getting in underneath prior swings. That one's pretty easy, right? But again, a couple different ways in which that may show up. The third one now is that rotation going higher. Now, remind me again, guys, what do range breakouts like to do? We talked about this quite a bit in last night's video. Anytime we see a range breakout, what do? We like to buy breakout pullbacks. It was too bad today because the breakout pullback happened right during that NVIDIA announcement here this afternoon. But nonetheless, though, anytime we see a range breakout pullbacks must be on our radar. So if we do get that big rotation coming off of that low now, whether or not we get a retest, whether or not we get in on the way up, if we make our run going higher here, and we start seeing separation, right? Separation away from that moving average. If we break out of that trading range, now we're going to use that trading range now for a breakout pullback. Now what I'll do is look at these prior swings. Those levels now will create an area of support for me. All those prior swings right there will create a support area for us for that breakout pullback. So this area now, that area now becomes a breakout pullback zone. So if we rotate going higher overnight now, and now we're way high up above the all-time highs, I don't want to buy high. I want to buy low. And to do that, I'm looking for a breakout pullback. Now, breakout pullbacks, my favorites are always a 2-legged pullback. So 1 leg, 2 leg, think about a measured move or an ABCD. They don't need to be 2-legged pullbacks, but those are always the best ones. It can be a 1-legged pullback. The best ones, though, are always a 2-legged pullback. I want to use the top of that range as a key area of support. And remember, for all I know, it'll roll all the way back down again. So because of that, I can't just blindly buy that area. I like to use bear traps. I wait for price to pull back into key areas of support, and we wait for price to pull back to the moving average. Bears try once, higher high. Bears try twice. Remember, folks, always a higher high. Why? Because sellers want to sell high. So trap the bears in, trap more in. The more they try, the more their stops are sitting there just begging to get squeezed. Now, targets on this. It's 2 targets on a breakout pullback. The first one's easy. It's back to retest that high. And again, it's always going to be that bear trap into that add-on, right? That separation off of that moving average, that higher high in price, and then right below that low. These bear traps, and of course, these add-ons back to retest the high. But remember, the size of the breakout leg. This is always where ranges are very helpful, help us find targets, because the size of the breakout leg can be used as a measuring leg. And then once we know how deep that pullback is, then we know where that final runner target is going to be. Makes sense, right? So if we do see that strong run going higher, good separation, good blast going higher here, then we look for that breakout pullback. The bear trap, the add-on, the retest of that high, and by all means, leave a runner, because again, the size of that breakout leg, and we'll know more tomorrow morning, the trade room, the size of that breakout leg, we can then use that for our final target going higher here for our runner. All right, those are 3 trades based on this range we're seeing right now. But I promised you earlier, I want to talk about the slingshot reversal because, again, if we hit this thing right tomorrow, it could be one of our biggest winners of the entire month of August. Let's go talk about Nasdaq right now. Nasdaq obviously getting all worked up around the NVIDIA earnings here this afternoon. And again, on the hourly time frame, just use the hourly chart for direction. Don't get too far into the weeds on this. Right now, it's very easy to see right now. We're bullish overall here on the hourly. That's our directional filter for tomorrow. Now, before we dive into the tick charts here and talk about that slingshot reversal for tomorrow, if you're enjoying tonight's video, please help me grow this channel, will ya? By hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I know we're all busy people these days. No kids are going back to school this week. I know it's a busy time of life right now. I appreciate you all tuning in and watching my videos here this evening. So thank you as always for all the ongoing support, the likes, the subs, all the love I get in the comment section. Now, let's dive in right now. The tick charts here. Again, tick charts are based on volume. They're easier to time. The entries, they make pattern recognition a whole lot easier. What do you see right now on this tick chart? First one is, there's that trading range. There's that bullish range. And again, ranges like to what? They rotate up, down, and back up again. And again, we're going to use things like those pendulum swings to measure where the market wants to go. Right now, those buyers are watching that 760.5 level at this point in the process. One big clue though is that strong run down. Remember, strong runs in a bull market overall, they love to retest that low, bear trap in, retest trade, and then whoop, right back up into that range up overhead. Love that trade for tomorrow. And again, if we don't get that retest trade, if it starts running higher here without the retest trade, we look for that simple pattern. It's that higher high in price and get in below that low. And again, as I showed you earlier on the S&P, this pattern, it may show up in a couple different variations, right? One of them was that pop, that grind going higher, mark off those highs, mark off those lows. These are always our favorites when you have a V bottom off of that low, right? It's the higher high in price, below low. I'll tell you right now, there's not many guarantees in trading, but that pattern right there is almost a guaranteed winner when you get a range trying to rotate up off of that low. But let's talk slingshot now, because everyone wants to know, what's a slingshot reversal? There's 2 aspects to a slingshot reversal. The first aspect is the overall direction on the higher time frame. We are bullish. What makes a slingshot reversal is a bearish trading range, a run lower into a trading range. Think of it this way, right? We have a bullish market overall, a run down into a trading range. What do ranges like to do? They like to rotate. So a slingshot reversal happens with a bear trap underneath that trading range. And as it rotates back, going with the overall bullish trend, this thing loves to rip, right? And it blows right through that pendulum swing because, again, it's an overall bull market and will snap back up to recent major highs. This dynamic, the combination of a bullish market overall and a bearish range, that is the recipe for a slingshot reversal. As it tries to run lower, all those bears get trapped in, their stops get run, and it squeezes, it slingshots, and runs higher. So, as of right now, we're watching closely right now overnight to see if we get a range here setting up here overnight. Watch for a range here developing overnight on both the S&P and the Nasdaq. That's our bear range here. Now, if we're really lucky for tomorrow, what'll happen is we'll go lower first, retest trade, and you see this right now? This is where the magic happens, right? A range wants to rotate. The retest trade, we already know that's a great trade on a radar for tomorrow. Bring that moving average lower, trap those bears once, twice. Why twice? Because I want their stops, right? I want those stops to get juiced up here and go higher here. And again, there's your bear trap. As we roll higher here, get that separation off that moving average, higher high in price. If there's one situation where you must add to your winner and you must leave a runner, it's this scenario right here. Again, bear trap off the low. And remember, it doesn't need to be off that low. It's anywhere below that range. Be fantastic if it is. It could be here, 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 all the way down here. It doesn't matter, right? The lower it goes, the more that rubber band gets pulled back. Imagine that slingshot, right? The lower it goes, the more of a snap it'll have back up into that trading range. Bear trap them, add on, and on this one, we know the pendulum swing is a good target, but we know now we're bullish overall. It'll want to go all the way back up, take out the 89 high, the NVIDIA highs. They're at 89 Eastern time. Now, one question for us here. What if we don't get that slingshot? That's a pretty good question, right? So we may go sideways in a range here. I love the idea of a run lower, bear trap back up again. But come on, right? I don't control the markets. We may not get that tomorrow. What if it was to run higher here? Now, what if it goes higher here? Okay, now we know two things, right? We know two things. One, we know that as it goes higher, we know that getting in under prior swings, right? That'll be a key. The key will be, though, separation off the moving average, higher high in price, getting in under prior swings, right? The second thing is a breakout pullback, right? Breakout pullback. So breakout pullback, one leg, two leg, below moving average there, right? Bears once, bears twice, bear trap, add on, obviously same patterns we mentioned so far in this video, and we're going back up to take out that high. My favorite trade on this is the breakout pullback for sure, right? The aggressive entry is the initial one getting in below that low. So make sure you get that separation. The key will be getting that separation off the moving average. It's a technical bear trap like I teach in the free video classes. Remember, the breakout leg, the measuring leg, that will give you one target. And then don't be surprised here if it pops up, pulls back, and we get that beautiful breakout pullback off the trading range. And then we complete that massive pendulum swing all the way back up again. It's very feasible for that scenario to play out tomorrow morning. A range overnight, we break out, pull back off that range, we go back, just not just to retest the recent high here, but again, pendulum off that low, pendulum going higher here, back of that pendulum swing there, up overhead. Right, guys? That's the game plan for a slingshot reversal. So right now, we're waiting more for more candles right now. We're waiting for more information right now. Do we see it run lower, bear trap, slingshot back up, or do we see it break out, pull back, and from there, that's the game plan for a slingshot reversal here tomorrow. Now, tomorrow morning, don't forget, 8 o'clock Eastern time. The place to be is in our trade room. I can't think of any better way to learn this stuff than to do it with us every morning at the opening bell. As always, I'll put all the important links you need below the video tonight. Start first on that free video course. You're going to love all those trade examples. Then come join me in the trade room and we'll do it together. In the meantime, guys, make a bunch of money for me tomorrow morning. Be well, be nice to each other, and by all means, be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.